To live in Toronto is to gripe about transit, about the sluggish streetcar paces, the useless apps unable to predict when the next bus is coming with anything like accuracy, and the people shoving past each other at rush hour at Bloor and St. George stations. But the gripes around the proposed Scarborough subway extension seem to me to have a bit more heft. It was recently announced that the Scarborough subway extension was facing a massive overrun in costs, meaning the cost would go up to something like $3 billion for one subway stop. Mayor John Tory took to the pages of the Star to defend the $3 billion extension. Now, there was one part in his piece that stood out to me and to many others. Tory wrote, and I quote here, "Many of the subway's loudest critics do not live or work in Scarborough, where more than half the population is born outside of Canada. When they say this is too much to spend on a subway, the inference seems to be that it's too much to spend on this part of the city." Now, you hear a lot about dog whistle politics these days, about using a kind of coded language to say something but really mean something else. You can think of the last federal election and Stephen Harper's mention of old stock Canadians, or of the dog whistle racism and xenophobia of Boris Johnson and other supporters of the recent Brexit. But here Tory tries something new. He's saying that to not support the Scarborough subway is to not support immigrant communities and new arrivals who would have access to this one lonely subway stop. He's essentially saying that not propping up another public works boondoggle is racist. It's not quite dog whistle racism, but something like dog whistle reverse racism, dog whistle white shaming. It's a cheap and underhanded tactic from a mayor who should know better. Then again, I guess, in a way, it's refreshing to hear a mayor call his electorate racist, especially after years of things being the other way around.